No data. Why is there no data? Why am I not alive? Don't tell me. Put. Wait, hey, Metal.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Okay, why is this? It says I'm streaming, but
There's probably a delay and have to kick in.
yeah, my mom's hearing me. Okay. Okay. Just okay. Now it's saying on restream that I'm streaming. Well, behind the scenes, it's happening. It's saying no data. Do I have the wrong thing again? Because I'm positive I set that up for the restream.
I don't know, because I would get a notification when you go live, and I haven't gotten one.
Well, I heard my mom listening to me.
Oh, wait, I just got a notification.
My mom.
Yeah, you're live.
Listening to me. Okay, so go live.
Oh, wait, I just got a notification.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, it didn't do my regular After Dark one. So that messed me up. I hate when things don't go the way that they're supposed to.
Yeah, right now it says you're at Character Showcase Subject Molecule.
Yeah. In the middle of changing that. Let's see. Live hit. Oh, you just did the chat. Okay, so edit that. Take all that. Put that in there. Hey, Evan. Nice keyboard. Thank you. We will have things. That's enough. Hey, John. How are you? Okay.
Can you hear me or can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I said, what you doing?
Not much. Trying to get everything working properly. Restream did not grab the right stream at first. And I'm about to share this out. This stream. And then I'm going to be drawing arms, practicing arms, maybe a shoulder.
Are you live yet?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, okay. So what's new with you, Metal?
I just had a long day.
Is that a good?
In what way?
Oh, I had to go watch my brother's dog while he and my mom ran around and did stuff. And Mom was over there. But I had to get up pretty early.
I see. Well, I know you get up in the middle of the day. What's early for you?
Let's see.
Like, what time did you get up today?
Noon. I didn't actually start walking out of the room until like 2. It's pretty early when you go to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 hours sleep. Definitely not good.
There's a butterflies and bees.
So how's the Buckler campaign going, John?
I'm about to post a page right now on Twitter with a reminder for people to go and back the book.
Ooh. I should go
I
retweet that.
I
as soon as
started
it's up.
on this new page. It's gonna be a big, almost. It's gonna be like a half a page, but it's like it's in the lobby of the news building, and the Buckler's Trans Am is like halfway in the lobby with the front all crashed up. Taking some forethought.
Yeah, that sounds pretty complicated to pull off.
So I guess you saw me in that video I posted earlier today on the Discord.
Oh, you're pretty hard to miss.
I was in it a few times too, actually. So was my mom.
So what were you guys doing?
Yeah, I watched it all with her.
Were you protesting or were you just hanging around?
Well, it was protest, but it wasn't. But we heard about it. We went there. We knew that they were happening. Hugs. What is it? There's a few different organizations. Freedom Rally.
Hugs over masks or something like that.
Yeah, and then there's like Freedom Rally. It's called so. So, yeah, we had just found out about it a little earlier that day. So, well, probably half an hour before that. So, yeah. And I didn't know that they were doing that news report. I just seen it that today, and I'm like, okay, let's do the Where's Waldo thing with this. Not that I was that hard to spot, like you said.
Yeah, I think the only time I was ever on TV was a local broadcast when Pokemon Go was a thing.
Yeah.
When that first came out, I was like in the background. Because they interviewed me, but they didn't use me because my face is too ugly.
Understandable.
But they had me in the background walking around and stuff. And then another time when I was at WrestleMania, I was on TV in the crowd.
I've been on TV, interviewed several times, and on TV or in the newspaper.
Rick Piper, if I was a news reporter and you were a witness to something, I would definitely use your clip.
Nothing new for Richard, but the fourth time, maybe fifth.
As you
You on
just
TV
said.
that much, Rick?
I wouldn't say a lot. Let's see. There are two other times I can think of.
On the street.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking the news.
Uh,
I got interviewed for the news a couple times.
yeah, by the local paper.
Yeah, there was that too.
Which was Circle Square.
Yeah, so been yeah, I've been on TV like 4 times, I think. I don't know. Two where I was actually talking. Like the other one time, it was more like today's one. Cross comments. Well, those look. Well, they look for weird guys. It says Cross Comics.
Absolutely, they get the ratings up there.
Yeah.
Like I imagine that interviewing Rick Piper would put me as a newscaster up on par with interviewing that lady that says ain't nobody got time for that.
The one time it was we were going actually to a Christian bookstore, me and my mom, and there was it was just they were interviewing people just on the spot or whatever. About something that had happened in that neighborhood. So it's like, sure, I'll do an interview. My mom was as far away from the camera as she can get.
So, are you looking at an anatomy of the arm, or are you just winging it?
I am looking at an anatomy of the arm. I went to Google. Well, Yahoo. Looked up. How did I word? Arm muscle anatomy. Here. Probably not the best one I got right here. I'll show you what I'm actually looking at the moment. There. I know I don't want to drop all the muscles, so.
Yes, you're not rendering the muscle fibers. You're just looking where like the actual masses are.
So it's I drew that. Obviously, drew this here. Drawn that one. I think that one. That one. This one a little. That one and maybe this one a little. Hey, Marsupial. Marsupial's out there. So I might, go between a few of these different ones here.
Uh-huh.
And I'll try to do different positions. Sort of like these ones a lot right here. I might end up putting the hand on some of these. Any of these really jump out to you guys?
Nope.
No, they look fine. That's the musculature of the arm.
Though, if I were to make a suggestion, you go to this one here on the second row, second from the last.
This one?
Yeah, that looks pretty accurate because a lot of these are not really very accurate. It's really hard to find drawings, diagrams, and stuff that are actually like medical accurate.
Yeah.
Try to just copy from those. It even has like an actual photograph of flayed arm. A lot of times these diagrams are just to show you something, not to actually represent the way it actually looks.
Yeah. Like typically if you find an actual medical textbook, it'll have a real picture. But something like a high school biology book will just be a representation that's not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be too short, too long, too fat, whatever. Kind of like how they have the little drawings of like a frog embryo. You don't want to go off those drawings. You want to find a picture, a photograph of a frog. So what else is going on?
Oh, not
Nothing?
a lot. Not a
Nothing
lot.
at all.
Yeah, the world's just on as fire as it used to be.
So apparently, they got some pretty damning photographs of California Governor Newsom having attending a party. And this is the guy a couple of weeks back that put out all those crazy restrictions on Thanksgiving. He's got he's at a party for one of his friends, like a birthday party,
Oh yeah.
and they're supposed to be eating outside, but apparently their party was so loud they had to close the sliding doors and close them. 10 of them sitting around a table, none of them wearing masks. And making a big old hoot and holler.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Oh, he's coming out. I heard he came out and said it was wrong for him to do it. He should have just went home. But the problem is, he'd do it just as fast again.
Mm-hmm. And you know what the biggest problem is, which just came out today, is that 2 of the people at the party are leaders of the medical board for California.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Yeah, let me go find that news article. Let's see.
But it just goes to show you, it's not. They know it's not as bad as what it's being made out to be. That's why they're not worried doing all this. Because if it was as bad as they're trying to make it out to be, they wouldn't be doing this. In my never ever so humble opinion. Okay, maybe sometimes humble opinion. I don't know. I'll let everybody else make up their mind whether they think it's a humble opinion or not. Yeah, our premier had done that in the summer or whatever. He went to a wedding or whatever,
What's a premier?
That's like our governors. That we have the name for our governors. The head of our provinces.
Yeah, of course you could have a pretty gay name for your governors. Apparently the lockdown in Southern Australia has gotten so bad that people are not even allowed to leave their houses to walk their dogs.
Yeah, yet it's so bad that they haven't had cases in weeks. No new cases in weeks. Or maybe like 1 or whatever.
Which is probably not even true. But you can't get tested if nobody can leave their houses.
Yeah. Crazy. Unless you've got, of course, an essential job too, then you can leave your house. But then, then if you're just stopping on the right side of the road because you're sick, you might get the cops might.
All right. So apparently the two people that were at this event were the CEO Dustin Corcoran and the CMA lobbyist, Janice Norman. These are the CEO and the lobbyist for the California Medical Association.
Yeah, I wonder why they all the.
This is
all
more
the,
proof positive than anything else that COVID isn't even a real thing.
No, it's a real thing. It's just not as dangerous as what they want to make it out to be. But, yeah. Yeah, they were probably there making plans for, how to.
Yeah, they're at their makeshift Eyes Wide Shut party, making plans about how they can oppress the California people.
Yeah.
Ooh. Do 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 do.
You guys know George Alexopoulos?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know of his work.
He's on Tim Pool's show today.
Yeah, he has. I saw before that somebody had said that he would when he was doing when Tim Pool was doing an interview with Alex Jones, that George Alexopoulos' artwork was up on display behind Tim Pool.
Yeah, he's got prints of, I think, 3 or 4 of his comics throughout this recording studio where they do the podcast.
Cool. So we should go watch that right now?
Shh.
Oh, probably not.
You go
So that is what I was watching before I jumped in here.
Cross Comics says, "Why do you hate science?" I don't hate science. I love science.
Science hates him, though. It's not a mutual relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. He has more than one YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, it's the
The Bunderdome.
see, Timcast IRL is the name of the channel.
Okay. Oh, it looks like I already finished.
Oh, it must have just finished then. Yeah, it went on for like 2 hours.
The title
It
is
was pretty
Comics Don't Need to Think for Themselves When the Social Justice Formula is Laid Out for Them.
Oh, really? They must have changed it. That's not what the title was in my notifications.
What was it?
It was Arizona governor will not certify election until Trump's lawsuits are settled with G Prime 85, which is George's handle.
Rick, what about end tables? No, I don't hate end tables. They're all right.
What about end table erotica?
Not really my thing. I'm not really into furniture porn.
Don't say bad
Oh,
words,
chips.
Rick. In your filthy mouth. Okay, we got 1 thumbs up. And that's from Metal. Bullet's here, so we got 1 thumbs down. Now, I know that if Eagle was here, you would have 3 thumbs down because he uses both accounts to thumbs down, Rick Piper.
Oh, does he now?
So
That explains a lot.
you're figuring out who does all the thumbs down now?
Yes, I'm compiling a list of guests that go on your show or guests in your chat and deciphering when thumbs up and thumbs down occur.
It's Detective Squad 2.0.
I know. Yes, I started the new Detective Squad, so I know the ringleader has got to be Bullet. But the one who's most devastating is Eagle because he has the most accounts thumbing you down.
Yeah. I think Evan has the most accounts, but I don't think he bothers to thumbs up or thumbs down. Because voting is against his religion, and that's technically a form of voting.
And then I'm almost positive. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm following Linda very closely. She's suspect.
Linda sus.
Bullet says, "Why would you say that?" I thumbs down. That's quite an assumption.
It is.
Well, I think he said why he would say it. The question is, how do you disprove his assumption?
Rick, that's not how America works.
I think he needs to send a screenshot right now.
Now there's 3 thumbs down, and there's 7 people watching. However, there's only 4 people that are actually in the chat, which means somebody's lurking. And 2 more thumbs down appear out of nowhere, which means that Eagle 43 is also watching.
Bullet has more than one account too, you know. And it could be Marsupial, and I actually have, it says 8 here are watching for me.
Why would Marsupial downvote you?
I don't know.
He's been nothing but supportive.
Because I'm beating
I don't know. I suspect Marsupial.
Because I'm beating
No,
him
see-
in Final Fantasy.
Marsupial's a simp, and simps never downvote. It's against their religion.
Rick, hit that bug. It's going to bite you.
It's a fly. It can fly away. Marsupial thinks I'm threatening the democracy.
Says he sends you money all the time, and this is the things he gets.
All the time?
Rick, are you asking people for money in the private hangouts?
No. Although he did just send me some money to resend him his book.
All the time.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'd like you to define these terms all the time. Except for the $12 that I got like a couple days ago. Or yesterday.
I agree with Bullet. You should probably stop. Do you think that Eagle's impatient? That's why he waited such a short amount of time to make his presence known?
No, see, because it was buffering for him, so he was waiting until he actually got mentioned to come in, and that's just how big the delay is.
Yesterday, that's all the time. He says. Okay. If you want to say just yesterday is all the time, maybe I can agree with you then.
Well, you left it up to him to define the term. That's your first mistake.
Oh, what I would disagree that that's not what all the time means. So
He said every day since yesterday.
No, you never sent anything today.
Today's not over yet.
True.
And he's definitely not going to now.
Well, now Eagle's trying to pull an ignorance Evan line here. Get it?
Well, if it was Evan, he wouldn't actually be listening. He'd just be typing in the chat. You have to type your responses back to him.
Yep. Yeah, Rick, technically the day's not over. So when are we going to have this debate?
What debate?
This Christianity debate that you were talking about?
I wasn't talking about it. Not in that way.
Yes, you were all morning.
I am clueless to what this is.
So Eagle puts a water drop, then he takes it away, then he puts a guy crying, and then he puts 2 more water drops, and then he puts a fire.
Is he trying to like put out the fire with his tears? It's not a very effective way to do that. I don't think you can cry that much.
Marsupio says, you talk about the debate all the time, Rick.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time
Every day
since
this morning.
So did you know that Adventure Time is on Hulu? I can't stop watching it.
What is Adventure Time?
Rick, go to hell.
No, thank you.
Now Eagle is crying many tears.
Man, he's working overtime trying to put out that fire.
Yep.
I don't think you have enough tears, man.
Methinks thou dost protest too much. He looks super guilty with all these tears.
Yeah. At least somebody's trying to put out the fire. I mean, California's been going on for too long.
Oh no, we've already fallen into the Ice Age over here in California.
Oh, have you?
Mm-hmm.
Went straight from forest fires to ice age?
Yep.
Now that I would call climate change.
Yeah, you take a look outside, there's like trees that are frozen solid in ice, and inside they're still on fire.
Wow. That's some like witchcraft.
This is like the
stuff.
day
What
after
is this?
tomorrow type stuff happening.
Did you walk into a D&D campaign?
Wow, Canada isn't even that cold right now.
Eagle is proclaiming he is going to thumbs down this video. Let's take a look
Probably
here.
already did.
Let's take a look here and see if the thumbs down changes. Now Elric showed up, and now there's a thumbs up on the video.
Thank you, Elric.
Oh, there's another thumbs down.
Say what?
There is another thumbs down.
There's 2 more thumbs down. But one of the thumbs up went away, so it looks like I don't know.
Looks like Eagle was being a good boy until John started taunting him.
This is all sus.
Yeah, till I start mentioning things people
Now there are
don't use.
10 thumbs down, Rick.
Oh well. Trolls will troll. Not much you can do.
Yeah, you can make better programming.
I don't think the quality of the programming stops trolls.
Well, how would we ever know?
Because they put it down no matter what.
Well, you don't know that.
They've had good programming and they've done it and they have it.
When you see
Yeah.
Elric came in and they went to 3 thumbs up, to 4 thumbs up, and then one of the thumbs up went away, and now it's added to the thumbs down. So Elric's one of them too.
Ulrich says, no problem. I've been having a rough week, been kind of feeling down because of the new lockdowns. Yeah, I can get that. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, and
You can go anywhere you want to go. Nobody's gonna stop you. Just
You
pull out
can't-
your gun and put it in their face.
well, you can't go to the theater if it's locked down.
Who wants to go to? There's no movies out.
Yeah, well, I'm just using that as an example.
I don't even want to go to the theater when there are movies out.
Okay, you can't go to a restaurant. Most of those are closed, right?
Can't go to a what?
A restaurant?
Yeah, you can.
There's restaurants open in your area? I thought you
Yeah,
could
every
go to-
restaurant is open.
Yeah, just about all of them in my area too.
Yeah. But can you sit down and eat at them, or do you just have to take them out?
No, you sit down and you eat.
Oh,
Some of them have like areas set outside.
Yeah.
to go and sit and eat, but they have heaters and stuff.
Go to the park with your
Would draw
favorite.
me of limited dining, but there is dine-in.
Hmm? He says, go to the park with your favorite end table and make sweet love to it in public.
Elric says restaurants are open for outdoor but no indoor. So you gotta eat on the McDonald's patio. The Subway patio, the Arby's patio. Or
Well, I'll just go eat at the Sonic Drive-In because I always had to eat outside for that.
I'm gonna have to go and take Elric a picnic. What's that, Rick?
oh, I'm just laughing at Marsupial's comment.
Oh, the strip clubs are open?
Yes.
Super hasn't gotten paid. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, should I, probably, hopefully tomorrow I'll have the money in my bank account to go send his Canadian Shield off to him.
What, it didn't already show up in your PayPal?
But yeah, it did, but then I gotta put it into my regular bank account, transfer it into there. Usually takes a day.
Why don't you do instant transfer? Takes like 14 cents.
Because I don't think I have that.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Good answer.
It might not be available in Canada.
I've never seen instant transfer, so I don't think I
It's
have
there.
it, but I could be wrong.
What you need to do, Rick, every time you start up a new account somewhere, don't use your actual address. Just pretend you live in America. That way you don't have all these stupid problems. Just pick an American address.
You don't save your change. What do you mean? What change?
Change from money.
You'd have to have that. Apparently Elric wasn't here last night. We're going through stuff on Amazon and Walmart and everywhere.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but we all know that's not true, so...
What, did I have pretty much no money?
There you go. Pretty much. There you go. Elric has over $100 in change, Rick.
Wow, he's lucky.
If you weren't such a highfalutin, nose walking in the air millionaire, and you picked up change when you found it, you would have over $100 too.
I usually
What
do,
up, Gothic Arch?
I usually do pick up change when I see it.
Yeah, right. You probably get embarrassed. You're like, I don't want my rich friends to see me picking up change, and you don't even do it.
Rich friends? I got rich friends? This is news to me.
What do you call Mallet?
I don't know. I don't know whether he's rich or not.
What do you call Chester? Chester's buying a yacht.
Yeah, well, that might be just because he's paid off his house in Japan. But then again, maybe he is well off. I'm not sure whether well off would be rich.
Well, I would consider if you have just $50 to just drop on whatever you feel like, you're probably rich.
Yeah. Well, is he getting it through a mortgage? Has he saved up the money for it? We did not.
You don't buy things through a mortgage.
Well, it'd be like buying a car, wouldn't it?
No, you buy a used car.
Well, some people do.
Cash.
Some people do. Some people don't. Get a glass jar, and then from when you use from the store, bought pasta sauce. I've done that before. It doesn't last long. Oh, Rick. Rick, do you hear yourself? Yeah? Why do you ask?
The real question isn't whether you hear yourself. Do you understand yourself?
Yeah. And unfortunately, the other thing is most stuff that we get pay plastic for, so we don't actually have a lot of cash. Don't end up having a lot of change anymore nowadays. Oh, just take it right out of the bank, swipe, or I guess now tap.
Elric wants to know how come it didn't work. Did the glass get mold on it?
Nope,
He says he's been using the same jar for over 5 years now.
because a little bit of change that would get in it, I'd take out and go buy pop or something with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's why change doesn't last long for me. But I always have it because I walk around everywhere and I find change on the ground all the time. I'll find whole bills on the ground.
I have found bills
Marsupio,
before.
by pop, he means marijuana.
No, by pop, I mean what you would lovingly call soda.
Well, speaking of soda, why don't you go collect some cans? Then you can fill that change jar.
We don't have anywhere to take that stuff around here for recycling.
Oh, okay.
And hello to Rebel in the chat.
Gothic Arch says, I thought you were Canadian, Rick. He says, we say pop here on the east coast of the United States.
We say pop here in Canada as well. As far as I know,
Rebel Gaming is
most
claiming that he fried a video card.
Crosses is heretic. Who calls soda pop? Like in backward state. It sounds like Canada is a third world country here. Okay, Rebel, do you guys call Coke and all that pop or soda on the east coast of Canada?
So my wife is claiming that she's adding a thumbs up to balance it out.
Well, thank you. Unfortunately, lots of people, Mrs. Dillard.
I'm gonna screen cap my screen right now.
'Cause I have it at 7 and 7.
Yeah.
No, I actually used to call it pop when I was younger because both my parents are from New Jersey area, and that's what everybody calls it there. It wasn't until hanging out with other people in Texas that I started calling it soda.
Okay, so Rebel says they call it pop on the east coast of Canada as well. So now we need Kat in here to weigh in.
Rick, stop doxing people!
Oh, what? They know she's from the middle of Canada.
Well, actually, that's the worst part. Is here in Texas, if the few people actually call it soda, everybody just calls everything Coke, and I hate it.
Yeah, well, we call it Coke or soda, the same thing.
Coke is either Coca-Cola, it's mentality of cousin Pepsi.
All right, so I sent you a screen cap, so you know it's not me. I think Mrs. Dillard Draws is part of the problem. What?
I think he means mentally ill cousin, Rick.
Oh,
Oh. You're literally the only.
Hey, John!
Got him! I got him again!
Was it a dog penis?
And balls. Oh, come on, Ray. It wasn't even exposed. Just barely the tip.
I didn't look at it long enough to get a good view, or however you want to say it.
Anyway, so what's up with this debate?
What
Man, he
debate?
flipped off the whole stream.
Well, he did specify me before he did it. I gotta drop this air. Cold.
No, what's your name? Dillard. Not the whole stream, just Dillard.
Marsupial said for that he's switching his vote.
To an up ballot or a down ballot?
Alright, I'm back. What happened? What did I miss?
Oh, Marsupial said.
Marsupial switched his vote to a down vote. Because Rick flipped off the stream.
I did
Rick,
not.
what are you doing?
I did not flip off the street.
You know what? I can go and go get my Buckler account, and I could give one more thumbs up.
Well, I ain't checking any DMs from you for you to prove it.
I can't believe that you were actually going to check the DMs to make sure that I wasn't giving you a thumbs down. I'm hurt.
You said you were doing it to show, so.
Kind of a dick move there, Rick. So I had to reciprocate in kind.
The chat must just be glad that I just didn't show them at the same time. I would give more just for flipping off the stream. That was cool. I did not flip off this stream, Alric. I flipped off Dillard. Let's be precise about this, or something to that effect.
Well, you know, Dillard has to see the same camera as everyone else, so effectively you flipped off everyone looking at the camera.
Yeah. Well, that's just like if you're flipping off a person in real life, everybody sees it. Are you flipping off everybody else?
Everyone directly in line of it.
Rick, get it together.
Yeah.
You're doing a live stream here. Talk about something.
I don't know. What's there to talk about?
Well, what's happening in your life, Rick? Tell me about what's happening in your life.
Not a whole heck of a lot.
After, all of us here were watching you this morning, and you ended your stream, right? You clicked end stream and all that. What does Rick Piper do after he clicks end stream? I'm picturing you there in your room. Your stream just ended. What happens after that? I imagine you get up, you yawn a little bit, maybe stretch your arms, pull up your pants. Then what?
Maybe go out. Did I go grab something to eat afterwards? I might have gone. By out, I mean out of my room to the kitchen.
So you saunter your way out of your room into the kitchen. You open the fridge. What do you see?
I've probably opened the cupboard to make some Mr. Noodles.
Did you say Mr. Noodles?
Yeah, well, technically it's the generic version of Mr. Noodles. Ramen noodles, maybe that's what you guys would probably more like to call them.
No marsupial. I did not say waddle for a reason. I said saunter. So as you go out to the kitchen, where's your mom? Do you greet her? Do you say hi to her? You were live for 2 hours and she wasn't really able to talk to you. Do you have a conversation?
Well, sometimes not. So, depending what's going on.
I mean, judging from the way that you react when she walks into the room, I can imagine you have some apologizing to do when you walk out of the room.
No. I don't apologize.
Well, I do believe that.
Hey, she knows I'm live, usually, so. And then, she can't hear if I have somebody on. She can't hear if they're talking to me or not, so.
Well, it's not like she has, places to go. You guys are all locked down over there in Canada. You don't even give her the courtesy of giving her some human interaction?
Well, sometimes. We're not big talkers. Either one of us. It's probably
So you sit there.
You talk about the weather?
Heard it?
Does it make you small talkers? You talk about the weather?
No?
Evan says Mr. Noodle is a character on Sesame Street. Someone should send Rick a picture because he doesn't know how to Google. Yeah, Mr. Noodle is on Elmo's show.
Yeah.
But Mr. Noodle is also a brand here, the major brand name of ramen noodles.
Mr. Noodle doesn't talk.
Much like Rick and his mother. So you guys you sit there on the chair, like in the couch in the living room, and you rest your Kool-Aid cup on your stomach, and you look at your mom, and she's sitting there on the chair looking all disgruntled, drinking her coffee, looking at you, you just grunt at each other, or what?
Well, if we got something to say, we say it, but usually, unless we've something to say, we don't say anything. The odd time if we're watching something, we might comment on it, but that's about it. Let's see. Elric says, Cross, do you support Pepsi over Coca-Cola? Do you admit to heresy? No, Coke rules, Pepsi drools.
Did you just use a saying that grade school girls use about boys and girls?
I don't know. Did I? Although I must agree also with medals, I usually support whatever's on sale too.
You admit heresy of supporting Pepsi. Pepsi's the best. I don't know what you're talking about.
Pepsi's trash for low-class people.
I love Pepsi.
Although I like Coke the best, I
don't think you're getting
I get the cheap. No, neither do I.
Oh man, it looks like this arm had like a baby and it has like a pooch now.
Yeah.
Evan says, I support talking to your loved ones. I agree, Evan.
Gillett knows what's best. It's Coca-Cola. Yeah, and usually
Coca-Cola is great for cleaning ceramics.
But as much as I like Coca-Cola and that, I usually buy generic cola the most.
What did you say about ceramics?
Oh, like cleaning a toilet bowl?
Because
Coke is no. You gotta get a toilet cleaner for that. It's better.
I support listening to Sherlock Holmes versus Dracula. Evan says he has a
That
crazy
sounds
idea.
fun. Royal Cola? Well, Royal Crown Cola. I actually have an RC in my hand right now.
Yeah. We don't have RC here
And is
anymore.
is RC a Pepsi company or is that a Coke company?
No, it technically, I think it's owned by Dr. Pepper.
So it's a Coke company then.
Well, Coke doesn't own Dr. Pepper. It just bottles it in places Dr. Pepper doesn't have factories.
Okay, so it's
They
a
have a
Coke
deal. Dr. Pepper's
So it's
its
a Coke
own.
thing then.
No, it's not a Coke thing.
So it's 100% a Coke thing.
That is 100% wrong.
Elric says Royal Cola. It's a
So
generic
if you were to say, Rick, is Royal Crown Cola closer related to Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
I think Coke. What?
What, like it tastes? Oh, it tastes way more like Pepsi than it does Coca-Cola.
No. If it was in a family and it was its second cousin once removed, it would be closer related to Coca-Cola.
So you're just trying to stretch as far as you can.
No, I'm fat. I don't stretch. Evan says if you were to get a job, Rick, you could come home at the end of the day and talk about your day. And then he puts the emoji of mind blown.
Actually, even when I had a job, I didn't do that. A normal job. Heck, when my mom had a job, she didn't do that.
Well, that's weird. It's normal for guys not to want to talk about their work, but it's not normal for women to not want to talk about their work.
You know, I might ask her how was work. She'd say fine, good. Maybe a little thing that went on, and then no more.
Rick, are you deviating now from these medical pictures?
A little bit, yeah. Now
No.
I got one up. Different one up because trying to figure out how to do different angles or whatever. There's one that I got up right now.
Well, that's why you shouldn't practice drawing the whole arm from different angles. You should practice drawing the muscle groups of the arms. That way, if you want to draw from any angle, you know what it's shaped like, and you can just add those in as needed.
Yeah.
It's boring, I know. It doesn't make for good television, I know. But
It helps.
it makes for better artists.
There's the one that I'm using right now. Or was using, however you want to say it. What this is, I was trying to use it was, I did that one. Heaven's fine, I give up.
Elric says, Cross, I drew for 3 weeks, nothing but feet. And I'm still not that good, but I am much better than I was.
Oh, he's looking for the foot market. I see. A lot of money there.
Yeah.
Elric. To think I was going to take him a picnic.
Do you have a foot fetish, Elric? So Royal Crown is out of the picture. Well, not here. Well, here anyways. Either that or it's going under a new name. I'm not sure. Right now, and everybody's going to jump on this, we have Faygo Cola. That's spelled F-A-Y-G-O.
That's cool. So this debate that you want to have,
So you want to have, apparently?
we need three points of view, and we need a moderator. I volunteer as moderator.
Okay.
What is this debate even about?
Yeah.
The debate is about whether or not the story in Genesis of the Garden of Eden is allegory or literal.
Ah.
But drawing feet is one of the difficult things for him to draw. Gothic says, just put your feet behind smoke or rubble like live fuel. I'll debate you, says Eagle.
Eagle needs a new microphone first.
Now, Rick here is of the opinion that it is 100% literal.
Mm.
And there were a few people in the chat that were saying possibly not. And somebody in the chat said aliens. So we need 3 points of view. We need pro, literal, anti-literal, and we also need the point of view that are responsible for the Garden of Eden story.
So that would be literal but misunderstood.
Yes.
What do you mean by literal but misunderstood?
Well, they're like, it actually happened, or what caused it to happen, and nobody actually understands how it happened, so then you get the story of Genesis instead.
Well,
So it would be literal but misunderstood. That would be the alien side of it.
the alien side of it.
Eagle saying I would be a horrible moderator. I
Unfortunately,
agree.
the alien
But
angle.
I don't have a dog in this fight.
The alien angle just really puts it back because even if quote unquote aliens created life on this planet, who created the life on the aliens planet? So
That doesn't make any sense, Rick.
no.
Well, we're not talking about big picture, we're talking about the story of Genesis in general.
Yeah, but it's about the beginnings, of life too. So
Yeah, but there's a gap there that's not accounted for then.
Evans says fine, he gives up trying to get Rick a job. Eagle says maybe I do have a microphone medal. What do you think about that?
Ooh.
okay,
Basically telling you to don't talk about what you don't know about, sucker.
Well, I'm just going off of his word of him not being able to speak on Discord, so maybe Eagle shouldn't lie to me. Or Rick.
yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't be bringing up Eagle's business from Discord on a live stream.
Maybe. That, I can agree to.
Maybe we all need to send Rick our loose change.
It's got to be
More than 3 stamps, I'm not doing it.
to be a substantial enough amount of change to cost more than what I'm sending.
Yeah, but-
cost less than what I'm sending.
But when he sends it, would it be change at that point?
What?
Oh yeah, it would be. You wouldn't be able to use it though. You'd have to take it to a bank and get it exchanged because it'd be a bunch of like American quarters and nickels.
Actually, I'd be smart to take it to a bank.
I don't give away my quarters.
I'd be smart to take it to a bank and get it exchanged. But I could use it all as dime, nickels, and quarters. Easy. They'll take them as
Yeah, you're close to the border, so there's probably a lot of places that take it.
Well, yeah, it's
Well,
Canada.
yeah.
They don't really believe in their own currency.
Well, anywhere, because it's so much, everything on it is different, but because it's all the same size, most people don't really look closely.
Oh, okay.
Or at least I'm pretty sure they don't, and especially, if it's American, they wouldn't care. Because they probably get enough of it that they actually do what I just said about doing. They probably set it all aside and they take it to the bank and get, $45 extra or whatever.
We need to have a debate right now against Metal and Rick. Moderator skills. Rick,
Well, what if we just send out our penny because your country doesn't even use pennies?
Yeah, we use
my country?
No, we use digital pennies.
They discontinued the penny as a physical currency.
Oh, cool.
Actually, we
So
don't.
what's a hot take that you have, Rick, that Metal doesn't agree with?
Probably a couple things.
This is going to say a lot about what you think about Metal. What's something that you think you disagree with him on?
Oh, probably evolution.
Oh yeah, I don't even think that's a question. I could probably be assumed that we disagree on that.
I'm assuming here that Rick doesn't believe in evolution, and you do.
Yeah, that would be the assumption.
Evan says, "I know," but that's all he says.
Marsupial says Coke versus Pepsi. Oh, Eagle says he has a microphone. Okay, you have a microphone, Eagle, but does it work?
Yeah, we already addressed this.
Do they disagree on Rick's treatment of Evan?
It will have to disagree because Evan's not a mod, and Evan's best mod. But I'm starting to bring that into question anyway because every time he gives Evan his wrench back, Evan just goes and times everybody out until he loses his wrench. So I'm starting to come with a disagreement on my own view. It's in conflict right now.
But I think the only person Evan times out is Eagle.
No, he times out everyone until his wrench gets taken away.
Yeah, he convinced me enough, what was it, a day or two ago, to give it. Like about 5 seconds, he timed out 3 people.
This drawing.
And then the first time he lost it, he timed out like 10 people before you took it away. He even said, let's see how many people Evan can time out before he loses his wrench.
Oh, that must not have been the real Evan then. That was somebody masquerading as Evan.
Well, it can't
So in the
be.
third person?
It can't be because the wrench is only on his account. He can't. Somebody who doesn't
Rick,
have
we're an hour into this stream and we haven't talked about anything.
We've talked about a bunch of stuff. We talked about Coke and Pepsi.
Are you new to this, John?
What?
We've talked
So
about
are you
Coke.
new to this, John?
We've talked about Coke, Pepsi. I think we talked about a couple other.
No, you're mistaken, Rick. That was me and Metal.
Marsupial said it was yesterday. That Evan.
It was basically all the time. We'll have to find something a little bit more specific than evolution, so we can keep Rick on topic, because he tends to bring everything in the world that he learned from Kent Hovind into every conversation.
Oh, I've learned more than from Kent. Heck, I was learning stuff before I even heard about Kent Hovind.
Marsupial says Evan has done that every day starting and ending yesterday.
All right, so what kind of debate do you guys want to have? A heated debate, a friendly debate, a debate that has no way to use any kind of like facts, just all opinion.
Well, if it's all opinion, it's not really a debate.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how convincing your opinion is.
It's like the Coke versus Pepsi debate. Which is better? That's just opinion. No.
Unless you find some actual metric to measure them against each other on.
Yeah. Like, which one's more acidy or which one's more sugary or something like that.
All right, let me ask you guys a question. I want you guys to both answer these questions, and we'll see what you agree or disagree on. Or money. Which one is necessary to survive?
What was the question?
Morals or money
I don't think
Which
these are two
one
things that are in conflict.
is necessary to... Let me finish the question. For money, which one is necessary?
To survive? I think that was your question.
Yes.
Like I said, I don't think these things are in conflict with each other.
Yeah, I'd agree.
They may not be in conflict with each other, but which one is more necessary to survive? Morals or money?
But what do you mean by survive?
Not die.
Not die? I don't think.
Okay, let's move on to an easier one here. Oh man, we got a cerebellum smoker here. Okay, which gender is better, male or female?
In which sense to look at?
No, I asked. The question was, Rick, which gender is better, male or female?
Well, I say to look. Which gender is better to look
No.
at?
I didn't say anything about looking at them because all that stuff you're talking about, or you want to talk about and make stipulations on, is going to have to be fleshed out in the actual debate. You see how this works? So you have to make a broad statement here, which is better, male or female.
Neither.
See, we can't have these two guys are just assholes to begin with. Absolute obstinate. They don't want to answer any question.
Hey, I'd say some things make females better, some things make males better.
Well, then that would be interesting conversation during a debate, but not during the question to decide which debate you want to have. Okay, can a vampire get AIDS?
Ooh, that actually is a good question.
Enough. What's the answer? God damn it!
Okay, I'm thinking real quick.
Well, if you can, please think.
I'm gonna say
no. If you can, please think in your head and don't give me a reason why you say no.
No, I'm not giving you the reason. I'm gonna go with no. That is my thing.
Rick, can vampires get AIDS?
Now this is gonna get John to try and do the debate. I'd say I think yes.
Oh my God! We actually might have a topic to talk about. What does that feel like, Rick, to have a topic to talk about in your show?
I've had it before. You usually don't last long.
I don't doubt that at all. Metal. Is Barbie a good role model for young girls? Yes or no?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Rick, is Barbie a good role model for young girls? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Ooh. I did not expect that answer. Okay. So I guess we can't have a debate about that. Since you guys agree. Rick, do fairy tales affect a child's perception of reality?
Some?
Oh my God, I don't think you know how a yes or no works.
Well, not every kid's the same. Some kids believe. Some kids believe.
Look, Rick,
generalization.
Rick, no. If you say some, the answer would be yes, because some of them do, in your opinion.
Yeah, but some of them do. Some.
You wouldn't say no, right? Because you do some do.
Yeah, but I can defend the no just as easy as I can defend the yes. I believe both.
Off.
To me, it's
not
both.
A trigger switch. Is it on or off?
To me, it's not on or off. Some kids it would, some kids it wouldn't. Depends on how they're raised and probably a few other variables too. Whether it affects them.
But it's a general question. Yes, if it affects anyone.
No, he said, does it affect can it affect children? can
Yeah.
affect children
So
to
if
do.
it can,
Yeah, but it can and it can't. It's both of them at the same time.
This is incredible. We just stumbled across a whole can of worms. So, oh my god. Okay. So, Ah.
Now we're all
Do you think that monarchy should end worldwide?
No.
Mel, what do you think?
Rick laughed during it. I need you to repeat the question.
Oh, do you think that a monarchy should end worldwide? Okay, so you agree on that. Religious schools and churches should be charged with taxes. Agree or disagree?
This might actually be where we disagree, because I agree.
I'm probably.
What about you,
gonna
Rick?
say-
Do you think those freeloading hippie churches should get charged taxes or no?
Well, are they tech? Well, they're earning income, but they're not. So I would say no. But then again, I don't know enough about tax laws, and stuff like that. Probably to defend anything on my way. That would probably just
Does
come
that
down
make you
to my.
uncomfortable?
Just makes me ill prepared for a debate. It just becomes down to personal opinion at that point.
Well, you don't think that you'd be able to find some sort of a reasonable agreement between two grown adults? I'm assuming here that you and Metal would not take underhanded tactics in this debate with each other.
I actually think Rick and I have talked about this before. And the view that I have on it, too, he kind of agreed with it. So it's not even much of a debate.
Okay, what was...
And what was your view on it?
Oh, my view was mostly just to attack the larger churches that have become more like corporations. Give a trade-off that if you have a proportionate amount of volunteer service, like charity work, towards the size of your congregation, then you could still effectively be a nonprofit. So smaller churches that actually do community work still don't get taxed. It's just the larger ones that are businesses.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds reasonable to me.
I think that's sort of what I
don't think there's any reason, Rick, that you should be scared to dive into any sort of debate. I don't think anybody here is trying to have gotcha moments on you.
No, it's not about being scared, but it's if I can't effectively argue, for lack of a better word, argue my point. What's the?
Yeah, you don't want to appear as a coward that you are. Here we go. Ethical to use animals for testing?
Yeah.
We
Metal,
don't
is it
disagree on that.
ethical to use animals for testing?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe, Rick, that there is increasing racism in the United States?
No.
What about you, Metal?
Increasing, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because of critical race theory.
What about you, Rick? You don't believe that there's some sort of a rise in racism with it becoming commonplace and taught in schools?
It's hard to say. I guess I don't think that most people in the States are, and maybe there's a little bit of a rise actually, but more, I think the cause of it is people trying to quote unquote eliminate it. If
Part of the
there
question
if there
I
is,
think there's an increase.
pardon it?
And that's just a trend. It doesn't have to be a big trend. It just means there's a trend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying if, and then
Well, with I think what Rick's saying is that because there's people that are actively, more people than normal are actively trying to fight racism, that the small cases of racism that still exist seem more pronounced than whether or not it's a more,
yeah,
No, I definitely
Is it
agree with
trending
that
upwards?
part. But I believe the anti-racism movement is in fact racist, which is an increase in racism.
or is it just a change in it?
Well, I think we've passed a valley
No,
and it's heading back uphill.
could be.
No, Rick?
I'm thinking for half a second, looking at the chat, a whole bunch of things. Could be, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't have enough stats. I've probably seen a lot of the same programs Metal has, or even something similar, through various things. But
What about
So-
violent video games? Violent, and are video games that have a lot of violence and sexual innuendo, or even sex in them. Should those be banned for teenagers?
No.
depends. Depending on the sex part, how far they go, but the violence, no.
Let's say the violence is, mutilating genitalia.
I guess it might depend on why.
Why?
Well,
Shit!
what I mean is just, some guy takes a sword and that's where he happens to stab it, versus somebody purposely doing something to the genitalia, to mess with
I'm
somebody.
assuming what you mean by should it be banned, right, for this question? Because I'm assuming you're just looking up questions that people debate about.
Right.
It would have to be further than their current system, where technically teenagers can play it, but their parents have to purchase it for them.
Metal, don't
And I
metagame. Calm down.
Well, then I'm going to say it shouldn't be banned if that is the case, though, because it's up to the parent.
Yeah. But then, depending on the store, some stores will sell it to no matter what.
See, in this whole analogy here, we're talking about if you had control over all the parents and they had to ban. Rick, do you think that models are setting standards of beauty that are detrimental?
No.
There's no disagreement.
Rick, should we outlaw same-sex marriage?
Marriage, yes. Can they have a civil union or something like that? Yes.
So your answer is yes.
I guess so then.
Can I take it? Can I take it even further? Can I say we should just outlaw marriage?
No, the question is yes or no.
Well, if we're not going further, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no.
Two things says God.
Metal disagrees with you, Rick. Why do you think that we should outlaw?
Because I believe marriage is something God set up, and God set it up for a man and a woman. Now, what two people
Or a man
wanted,
and many women.
he never condemned it. at first, so yeah, I guess. But well, actually, he didn't. I'd say no. He set it up for a man and a woman. Men sort of changed. Men as people's choice, I would say, changed it, and God didn't condemn them for it.
So, by that rationale, men also changed it to include men and women and women, and God didn't condemn it.
Actually, that he did. Guys with guys, he did, or women with women, he did. That's in Exodus.
No,
not
Exodus.
Exodus.
After that, you're saying that after God made the laws, that men changed it after the fact.
Yeah. Well, even in the law, the Levitical law, there's nothing that's against a guy marrying more than one woman. Nothing in the Levitical law. But there is, well, I wouldn't say marriage, but there is something in the Levitical law about men lying with men, having sex with men.
But that could very well be fornication. It doesn't mean marriage.
Yeah. But if you're not supposed to lay with them, like you lay with a woman, you're only supposed to be
You're not
doing
supposed to do that either before marriage.
Again, as you just said, you're not supposed to be doing it before marriage, so thus that eliminates marriage for them too.
You're also only supposed to be applying the law to the people inside your group.
Yeah. Yeah, but if a country is supposed to be quote-unquote Christian, then yes, if you're in some country that's quote-unquote not Christian, I guess they can have it if they want.
Well, we have separation of church and state here.
Actually, that is not true. That is only from a letter that was written from Thomas Jefferson to some Baptist pastor. That is not in your laws.
All right, let's take a look at that. That's a bold statement.
Because the First Amendment protects the freedom of religion.
Yeah.
It says, Congress shall make no law respecting... Hold on. Where is the... I just had the First Amendment pulled up. God damn it.
Respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's not separation of churches state. It's just the church is not going to have a how do I put it? They're not going to support one. I'm gonna say religion, but I more mean one particular. I guess one religion.
But one thing I'm really confused on, Rick, is why you're talking about Jefferson when you live in Canada.
Well, because you guys live in the States. And Metal said about the church and state thing, so he's talking about your country, obviously.
Yes, but because they're not allowed to respect the establishment of religion, they cannot allow Christianity to be that which decides the rules. Now, the representatives can vote in their own interest, and the representatives can be Christian, but the church is not a representation for the state.
Yeah, but I think if their thing was not one particular church, it doesn't say, it says religion, not church. So, like I said, there's people that know a bunch of this stuff more than me, so I'm not sure exactly.
Nope. There's only one document, Rick, and we can know just as much about it as anybody else in the world.
Yes, but I have not.
Stop using that. You're using the same cop out for everything.
What? That I'm not, fully equipped to argue this statement good?
No, the argument that there are people out there that know much more about all this than we do.
No, I didn't say that use. I said me. I'm not fully versed on this whole debate. Yes, I know about.
You don't have to be.
I know I don't have to be to do the little I am, but I'm admitting at this point I'm a bit out of my depth in the argument or debate or whatever you want to call it.
It's okay, Rick. We're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. I know, but I can admit that I'm out of my depth, right?
Rick used the yeah. He's all pissed off. Man, Rick, can't we just have a civil debate? Good lord.
Gothic says show's getting heavy, quick, laugh out loud. Marsupio says, so should we legitimize polygamy? Separation of church and state is a communist tenet, says Marsupio. Gothic says, fight. Oh, so I'm not sure where we're at that point. Then.
Rick,
Yeah,
do you think that police should be allowed to use lethal force?
Yeah. If necessary.
I also think they should.
Oh. Why do you think they should be allowed to, Rick?
I think there are some situations that call for it. I think sometimes they do use it too soon. I wouldn't say in all cases, but sometimes they do use it too soon.
Well, I guess let me ask this in a different way, because I think everybody here can agree that in certain situations, it's perfectly fine for anybody to use lethal force, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, do you think that police should have some sort of a protection because they are, I guess, forced to deal with situations that might turn lethal at a higher rate than a normal person? They should be on a case-by-case basis, just like anybody else would be scrutinized for taking a life. They should go through the same thing.
I think it should be on a case-by-case basis, and that's sort of what it is now. If they have to use it, there's an investigation to find out whether it was necessary or not. Usually,
I'm sorry, what?
I would probably agree with case by case with, say, automatic bail as an extra leniency. You can still continue to do your job until the investigation's over.
no.
I don't know. I think there needs to be
no problem anyway.
Well,
Say what now?
Out with no problem anyway.
I might say maybe not continue to do the job, but at least paid leave.
Yeah, you would, hippie.
No, I just say it because, depending if they're being investigated, in that sense, usually these things are, hopefully they're only a day or two that they would be off, these investigations, and say most of them are
sometimes these
short.
investigations can last weeks.
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm saying most of the time, I think it would only last a day or two.
Well, I think that investigation should last months.
Yeah.
A murder.
Well, there's a quick. I'd say there's probably a quick investigation to see whether they were justified in doing it. The shooting. I don't disagree that some might take weeks, some might take months, but I think probably most, and I could be wrong, most of those investigations take a couple days, maybe a week.
See, I'm of the opinion that there needs to be some sort of measurable leniency for officers who deal with these situations on a daily basis. Like, can you? I don't know.
And I'm
The
probably
last time that I had an
inclined to
encounter with the last time I had an encounter with a police officer, it was I had gotten a ticket, and I didn't like that, and I was having a bad day. It put me in a bad mood, made me agitated, and I feel like I wanted to hit him. And the thing is, most time when you interact with the police, it's usually the worst day you had in the last year.
Yeah.
So these officers on a daily basis are kind of dealing with everybody on their worst day they're having in the year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of real sticky situations that happen that they constantly have to deal with, and I think because of that, they should be granted a little bit of something, a little bit of leniency when it comes to how they make their decisions.
Oh yeah.
And I'm probably already leaning towards agreeing with you anyway, because I think they should still continue their job.
Yeah.
Somebody else should just be investigating what happened.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say the possibility of paid leave is just in the slim chance that maybe it was unjustified.
Well, yeah. Like I think, for instance, if a police officer has 2 incidents of in a year, automatically, out of work without pay while the investigation happens.
Yeah.
I don't think I disagree with that.
But like I said, I'm not sure what to write. I could go either way, like I said. Without with the pay without leave or them going, I just think it'd probably be better for the slim chance, because unfortunately, and you can't necessarily do it based on this most of the time, we've seen all the outcries when, certain people gotten shot lately, and all that. And most of those officers are even paid with leave or whatever. I'm not sure what's happened to a lot of those officers and stuff like that, so. Because I don't follow those types of cases enough. And I don't even know what we do here in Canada. I don't think we have it quite as often as you.
Metal. Your past does not define you. True or false?
That's a tough one. I'm leaning towards false.
Rick?
Like you said, it's a tough one. I'm not sure whether this would be almost saying the same, well, not the same thing as him, but I was going to say it shapes you, but it doesn't define you.
That's actually not an answer. Okay, so move on. Life is incomplete without faith. True or false?
I mean, I'm definitely going to have to go with true on that one.
Yeah.
Just from looking at human experience.
Same.
Okay.
We're sort of having minor ones here in my sketchbook.
I mean, we might disagree on why we would say that it's true, but I think we both say true.
Yeah. Well, no, I was my sketchbook's been in the chat for a few minutes here, and he had. So did the debate go down? So I was just sort of answering that question. Although it's not between me and John, or so maybe it is. I don't know. Like, it's not real big debate. John's just asking leading questions. No, not leading questions. And we're just I'd say we're answering.
Well, they're leading in a sense that I want to lead us to have a conversation instead of breathing into our microphones. And that's it. I apologize, Rick. Go ahead, run your show.
No, I never said it was a bad thing. Jeez. I'm just saying what's going on. Letting.
Some kind of weird ASMR fetish going on here.
So what's the next question?
That was the next question. You just asked it.
Marshubu says, once again, I think I need to jump in here and say, show.
Rick, what's your opinion on homeschooling?
I think it's
Is
good.
it better? Is it better than the public school educational system? Yes or no answer, please.
Probably.
Yes or no answer, please.
Okay, I'll say yes then.
I'm gonna say no.
Now, if I were Rick, I would say, well, why do you say no, Metal? Or if I was Metal, I would say, because I disagreed, I could then just pop in and say, and here's why.
I just know too many homeschoolers. And most of them know even less than the people I knew that went to public school. And this even comes from somebody who would lean towards homeschooling his kids just because what's being taught in school right now. Programs are just awful and aren't conducive to making a bright child.
Rick, what are you
Rick?
doing?
Golly!
What?
Your response?
I've known a few home school kids, and I'm not sure whether they knew less or more than me. But then again, I was older than most of them, so I probably knew a little bit more about some things. But I know statistics. I've seen some statistics that say they're usually as bright, if not more, show more brightness or whatever than most of the public school kids. That's all
I've seen some of the statistics, and I would have to say they need to be thrown out because they were done poorly.
Well, I don't know anything about them. I just know I said I've seen them, and
Well, the only issue I have with that is that, I mean, typically people that spend, the time to do homeschooling are the kind of parents who would already, even if their kid was in public school, spend extra time with their kid in education. I mean, if they have the ability, they're usually going to, do that.
See, you would think. And I knew a few that
That's,
did.
yeah, that's what I would
A lot
think.
of
Yeah.
them don't. Because they rely on these things that are called co-ops and stuff like that. Really bad programs. And they still have to fit the standards that are in the normal school district that they're in as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another trade-off that they're losing that I think is very valuable and might also be why they don't retain as much of the information, and that is the socialization factor. Because a lot of these people, when I meet them, are not prepared for interacting with people in the real world.
Why would you say it doesn't allow them to retain information?
Well, part of what makes school effective is socializing with other people. It's the environment that you're doing it in, and making it a real world practical experience causes you to
Yeah.
retain more information.
I don't know about that.
Marsupial might be right. It could also, some of this be in my limited experience, but I've known some people who go to co-ops and stuff like that, and
I never even heard of a co-op.
none of the ones I knew were prepared for the world afterwards.
Because I knew a bunch of kids that were
They hit
homeschooled, and I
community
never
college,
even heard
and
of a
they were
co-op.
like shell-shocked.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch like that, but there's a lot that they do teach their kids, and I agree that there could be limiting socialization. Although I do believe they're starting to try and improve that by different quote unquote homeschooling groups, if you will, different people getting together, that homeschool their kids, doing outings or whatever. So, I'm just saying the little bit of thing that I think I know. think I've gleaned.
And I'm not actually calling it worse either.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying it's about trade-offs on it. I don't think it's better. The only thing I would even say that makes it remotely better, why I would consider doing it for my own kids, is because of specific things they're starting to teach in school, and that's leaning in that communism route. Which I think we just need to take out of schools altogether.
All right, so Rick.
Yes.
Why is it that I know, never mind. I don't like that question. All right. Do you think it is acceptable for an older man to date a younger woman?
Yes.
I also think it's acceptable.
Okay. Next question. Do you believe that age is just a number? And it's
No.
used in quotations, so I guess they're trying to say, you know what we mean?
No, I don't think
I'm gonna
it's just
say
a
no.
number. You said she was saying something about private school. We need alien questions, says Gothic. They are out there, says Bullet. Your boy says Marsupial. Bullet, for sure they are. So,
Rick, do aliens exist? Yes or no?
I believe so.
Metal, do aliens exist? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right, so we both agree that aliens exist. Give me 1 second.
Marsupial says his girlfriend is 12 years younger than him.
Let me use the restroom while you look for more questions.
Gothic, I think this is to Marsupial, so no, that he doesn't believe in Mantane. The younger woman.
You're laughing too much. I don't understand what you're talking about.
As I said, Marsupial said that his girlfriend's 12 years younger than him. And Gothic said, so no, I think sarcastically saying that about. So he doesn't believe in guys dating younger women? Or much younger women? I'd say it'd be a yes. So, have you found your next question?
No. Everywhere I'm going to tell me to disable my ad blocker. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Marsupio said she was 25 when we met. Cool.
You guys find another alien question?
I got a bunch. I'm looking for a good one. All right, Rick. If the Earth were to be visited by aliens, where do you think they would touch down?
So we're out of sight?
That's a very specific answer.
You mean non-specific answer?
Just being sarcastic.
Okay, yeah. Evans, did we figure out who likes Evan more, Rick or Metal? No, we didn't.
It's an interesting question. How much do you like Evan on a scale of 1 to 10, Rick?
10 being really like, or 1 being really
10 being like you would bear his child.
Oh, definitely a 1.
I'll give him a solid 6.
Well, I think the debate is over. Looks like Rick likes Evan much more than Metal. However, if that question were about me, I would want it expounded upon. Why do you like Evan so much, Rick?
He's a good guy most of the time. He's a nice tech guy.
Well, most people are. I mean, so is there any other reason?
Well, I can't say.
Like, unless you're somebody's enemy, then they're usually a really nice guy most of the time.
That's not always true.
Yeah, some people are just jerks no matter what.
I mean, I thought the fact that I used the word usually would have curtailed that response, but I guess it didn't.
No, actually, I'm going to go against it. I don't even think people are usually good to people, even if they're not enemies.
Ooh, now we got
I
the
didn't say good, I said nice. All right, so what has he done for you, Rick? That you're like, oh, he's such a great guy. I like him 3,000.
Obviously, he helped me with setting up OBS. Took time out of his day. He takes time sometimes out of his day if I have a tech problem I can't solve. If I need it.
So you would say that he's your friend, even.
Yeah.
Evan's crying, saying most of the time. I think he means, what have I done to you, Rick, that you would say most of the time and not all the time?
I think those downvotes might hurt his chances. Some of the trolling.
And that puts him lower on your scale, trolling?
Yep.
Trolling hurts your feelings then.
Can a little at times.
How does it make you feel when somebody, that you thought was your friend is trolling you?
Well, some of it's it's usually all good-natured ribbing, I believe.
So those times that you honest and earnestly believe that it's not good-natured and he's doing it just to hurt you,
Well,
feel.
It's never that I believe that he's doing it to hurt me, and I'm not sure whether he's done anything.
Well, he's in the
There's a-
chat claiming that he doesn't have the time to downvote your stream.
Plus, voting is against Evan's religion, so.
And maybe I'm just trolling him right now a little with my answer.
So you're saying there's no time in which you think that he's like doing it on purpose just to be
No, I don't think.
mean or aggressive.
His trolling has never been malevolent.
Yeah, I don't see
But
anybody here.
You are saying that every now and then, if you're not in the right mood, it will bother you.
Yeah, could yeah. I can't think of a.
Rick, I can't believe that's the arm you decided on after all that arm practice.
It's not. I'm not even probably really practicing at this point because we're talking about whatever. I'm not focused on the arm stuff.
So, what do you wish your interactions with Evan would be? Like, would you prefer that he kind of like not troll you at all, and maybe like had a different kind of relationship?
I don't know. Rick, no, go back to being honest. I don't know. You're trying to think over, like a couple years, and obviously things have, for lack of a better term, evolved. Probably, and it's probably not just him. Just probably all the trolling at times can sometimes get to me.
Well, I'm talking about him. We're talking about Evan specifically, though.
Yeah.
This has now become the Evan show.
Because if we, I mean, your response was with the first thing when I talked about with Evan, reasons you may not put him higher on your list. The first thing that come to your head was the trolling, so it bothers you a little bit.
Well, I get trolled by almost everybody on this channel. So. It sort of, at some point, meshes a lot together. I try, yes, to separate it. Individual, but I'm not sure how.
I'm sorry. Oh, you tried to separate it, you said.
Yeah.
So what if would you prefer it if Evan had more of a almost like a Scott Schmear or a like a
I want people to.
Name?
Oh, Brandon. No.
Yeah, Brandon Bellinger. Would you prefer it if your relationship with Evan was more professional like that, where it was not so much trolling and it was just more just friendly banter, conversation, and him adding to your?
Well, a lot of the trolling is friendly banter. I would say, and also, and I don't know how to put things exactly.
I don't think we want anybody to go Scott Smear.
Yeah. I love Scott and all that, but I think he's gotten a little bit off the deep end at times. Every so often that I see his tweets on Twitter, I have to wonder what he's talking about or who he's talking about.
Oh, they know who he's talking about. At least that's what the tweet says.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so
I've been saying I demand a full stream on the Life and Crimes of Evan Hotel.
like I guess I would be biased. I couldn't even participate in that because like every time I've had an interaction with Evan, it's usually something productive or something like that. I mean, Metal, you've been with me and Evan in the hangouts and stuff where everything he's doing essentially behind the scenes is just beneficial.
Oh yeah, a very, very positive view on Evan.
So I couldn't really say, but Rick seems to have him, a little problem with some of the stuff he does or some of his behavior. Evan's behavior, I guess, in Rick's stream is what's in question.
Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing stuff that he's done with somebody else or whatever.
You're confusing Evan with Eagle, is what you're doing.
The names do both start with E.
Well, there is the fact that, I give him a wrench and he times people out, for no reason.
Immediately.
Especially lately.
The thing is, I never in my life do I usually want to, like, if I'm on the show, I do not want to type in Rick's chat at all. I have no desire until somebody times me out. Then I feel like I need to type something.
Well, usually if you're on the panel, you're not typing in the chat, so. Or do you mean when you're out there not on the panel?
No, I mean when I'm in here.
I'm always throwing like elbow coughs in the chat.
That's usually all I'll do, yeah. Yeah, this is an anti-troll. We're trying to figure out why people feel they have to troll Rick. Because it just kind of got revealed that Rick does get upset about it from time to time.
Well, why do they do it? Obviously, think it's fun. And I do troll back a little too, for the friendly banter or whatever. And all that, trying to create a camaraderie, I think would be the right term.
Mm-hmm. I'm asking you, but I see what you're coming from. So, I mean, is it something that, like, do you think that he has the ability to not to, like, help you grow your stream or promote it more or add some sort of production value to it?
I don't know.
I think Evan's tried this several times before.
Yeah, heck, in that list, he made it, into the top 10? Close to the top 10?
Eagle's saying that he's deleting this account now. I guess all of the... because you, I think, Rick, troll Eagle more than anybody else.
How do I troll Eagle?
Well, you kind of... you almost relegate him to like a caricature of himself. Because of, you're always talking about how he's always doing this or that, or always posting about the shadow or something like that.
I don't
kind
do
of
this.
him.
I don't say that.
Well, you do it. I've seen you do it many times. Like somebody will say something about the shadow, and then you'll say, "Don't mind Eagle. He's always talking about the shadow."
Well, I'm not trying to unperson him. If somebody comes in the chat, he jumps on them about it. So,
Well, I'm not saying you're doing it on purpose. Well, I guess you do it on purpose, but you're not doing it, with malice. But especially if he's trying to talk to somebody new about something that's very near and dear to him, I could see how it would put him off that you because of course he doesn't have a voice on your stream. He's just a chat in the chat. You overpower whatever he's talking about, and you can speak on it at length and a lot more. And you kind of always curtail him and say, hey, this guy, don't listen to him. He's just a shadow puppet, essentially.
I'm not saying don't listen to him. Just trying to let people know where he's coming from.
And where is he coming from?
Being a really big fan of the Shadow? Or pulp comics? Let's see. So, 1985.
Do you think that comes across?
I don't know. I guess we would have to ask Eagle that.
You don't have to pretend he's not here, Rick. He is in the chat. You can ask.
Yeah, well, that was sort of saying.
I'll see you later, Sketchbook 340.
Eagle's wondering about the character Shuriken. I'm aware of her, but I haven't read any, so I couldn't really say much on that.
Evan says, I'll stop if you want me to, Rick. What the Pirates of Canadian is still going to happen. No, you don't have to stop, Evan. I want people to be themselves. Also, I don't want people to pretend to be people that they aren't.
I mean, I get that, but it seems like there's some, like, the synergy isn't there. Maybe something that somebody's doing isn't exactly working the way they think it is.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there would be no, if it was, there would be no, complaints. There would be no beef.
Yeah, true. I think I did say I was pretty much joking when I said that. Whatever I said, I can't even remember where we said in the conversation.
That's probably beneficial because I don't want you going back on your word and using what you said before as kind of a crutch. It's very important you give me truthful answers and just forget about what you said after you say it. If you're always truthful, Rick, you never have to lie.
Sure.
You never have to remember your lies.
Evan says, I like being me too. Thanks, Rick. True, you never have to remember your lies. But should you remember the truths that you've told, too? Oh?
No, you don't have to. Why would you want to rehash old stuff?
I don't know.
As Evan says, he still requires an Evan Hotep roast.
That can be arranged.
Hashtag free roast for Evan.
That would mean you would have to come on stream, Evan. Although he's going to be a... True.
Everybody would be roasting him.
Okay, you have to think of some good. You have to think of some good roasts, Rick. Like they have to be really good.
Well, rump roast is pretty good.
No roasts, not puns.
Yeah, but it is a roast. Rump roast, beef roast, pork roast.
I'm hosting it. The uninviting Rick from the host, the roast.
I'm looking up some roasts here. These are all not funny at all. I can't use any of these.
Evan will get toasted in the roast.
You're double not invited now.
So what does a person have to do, Rick, to be a solid 10 on your scale of good friend trustworthiness?
I don't know. I guess being good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, are there some things that are hard and fast rules that will always keep them at a 9 and never make them a 10? Scale of things. Can they do something egregious but then make up for it in a different way and they still be a 10?
I guess so. I've never really thought about something like that. You know, I have a few friends in real life, some real good ones. You know, like there's little.
Do you have to be Canadian?
No. Like I've talked about the guy that I consider a brother, Chris. You know, like we knew each other in grade school. We met each other like in the late 90s, the mid 90s, something like that. And
Okay, but I mean, what I mean is like, is that a qualification or is that a requirement? Even like, do you have to know the person in real life?
I'd say no, but I'd say it helps because, and I'm not saying anybody here does what I'm about to say, but it's easy to put on a persona on the net. Uh, you can't. I don't think you can get to know somebody fairly good, maybe even really good, but you don't. I wouldn't say you really get to know them till in real life, but you can still become really good friends and even trust them. Like
So that's what I'm saying. Okay, so
well,
so for instance,
uh,
if you okay, go ahead.
like I trust you enough to give you $2,000 or just under 2,000. Let it go into your bank account. So and that you
Okay,
would
so
get.
what I'm saying, go ahead. I
Just,
keep thinking that you're finished talking. Okay, go ahead.
go ahead.
So what I'm saying is knowing somebody in real life, having that kinship, growing up with somebody like you would with somebody that's say like your best friend, from school or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that something that's required to, or would that person always be a 9 just because you don't have that also like that emotional connection, that growing up, that
I'm
kindred
actually.
spirit, that kind of thing?
Well, I wouldn't say that needs is a requirement having from growing up because there's nobody. Even Chris, I didn't know all the way. We weren't really friends in grade school when we knew of each other. We became friends once we met years. Real good friends when we met years later. You know, so obviously growing up, and I don't have anybody that I grew up with in my life now except for like my mom.
Right,
Relatives.
like a lot of people would say that, like, in order to become like a 10, like one of somebody's very good friend, one of their best friends or whatever, that have to, one of the markers people always say is that they would kind of like thoughtfully respond to you all the time instead of just reacting and picking on or just jabbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to have that. You have to have those thoughtful and um, you know questions and answers relationship kind of thing. Do you think that's a requirement?
To be like a 10?
Yeah. Like, do you have to go and get deep with somebody on a at least semi-regular basis, like twice a year, if I were to put a time schedule on it, in order to be like at a 10? Or can you just be friends with somebody, like you almost like superficial, where you like hanging out with each other, you like joking, all of your interactions, you never really have beef, you wouldn't go to this person necessarily with some heartbreak you went through and expect them to, um, and thereby strengthening your relationship, but just having would that person ever reach a 10?
Hmm. Uh, don't know. I'll admit I'm leaning probably to not because there doesn't end up being the intimacy there, for lack of a better word. you know
Hmm?
that the 10 would. I think a
No, I think
10.
that's a very good word. It's a word that I was searching for and couldn't find.
I don't think if they're the 10, the intimacy I think would make a 10. They even you might not even get to a 9 without some intimacy and all that. Or a 9 or an
Okay, what
8.
about what about what about reliability? Can you be a 10 in somebody's book? Can somebody be a 10 on your friends list if they're not willing to bail you out of a jam?
Um,
And I don't mean
Yeah.
like financially. What
Yeah.
if it's like, you need a ride, or you're
Yeah.
I don't know, something, some sort of calamity has befallen you, and you think about it, and you can't rely on this person to help you out of this situation. Would that prevent them from being a 10 in your book?
I'm not sure. I in some ways I say I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Like, I think for sure, if it's within their power to do, and I think, it depends on the relationship you have with the person. If, say, for instance, like, I know I have a godmother, right,
Yeah.
who I like, and she's fine and all that, but there's always some sort of calamity befalling her, and she always needs my help for something. Now, because I have the ability to help her, but I don't want to, because it enables her to be more bold in the future and call me quicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'd say there's a difference there. Yeah, you're reliable.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm being reasonable. Like, if you have a reasonable relationship, you're not always asking for a ride. You're not always asking for money. You're not always asking to get dropped off at the hospital. You're not always asking.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't do when they could they be a 10 in your book?
Guess
like,
so.
for instance, if I'm stuck in quicksand and I need some help getting pulled out, you to just decide not to.
Yeah.
Would that be a factor?
You go get like a treasure chest instead.
Yeah. Oh, I'd say I'm not sure. I can say I haven't had a lot of very good friends in my life, even 10. I'm lucky if I've had a lot of 9s. I think there's like maybe 4, 5 people at best that I would even consider an 8 or a 9. Maybe one of those, the 2 of them would be a 10. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have not had a lot of friends. Friends. I've had a lot of acquaintances, but I wouldn't say I've had should I say I shouldn't have a lot of friends? I guess it depends on how you define a lot.
Well, that's why I'm saying to you, being a reasonable person and kind of giving yourself that answer, whatever is a reasonable number to you. If that person, you can't count on them to help you out, could they ever reach a 10?
Yeah. I know there's a lot.
Like, let's say I have a buddy named Steve, right? I haven't spoken to the guy in a couple of weeks. We usually only communicate through text,
Yeah.
I haven't months. But for instance, if I was broke down, I could call him and get him to bring me jump my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm on the side of the road and I'm within a relatively reasonable distance from his house. Now, do that. Like, for instance, my brother, and this is actually a situation that has happened before.
Yeah.
I needed him to bring me birth certificate and drive it to me, and I was in Arizona.
Yeah.
And he was doing that. But unfortunately, I was able to find a solution, and he was able to stop, within 50 miles of the house and go ahead and head home.
Yeah.
From Riverside to Phoenix with this is a very big ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's something that would have cost me thousands if I didn't have that done.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure whether. Well, this person I probably would consider. There's one.
I'm saying an unreasonable ask like that is something you might be able to do with a friend maybe twice in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Asking for stuff like that on a yearly basis or even more frequently would be outrageous.
Yeah. There's actually probably only 2 people that I've had that sort of relationship with. I could just do that sort of thing. My mom. Now, I'm not sure that you would count her because she's my mom, but
No, I would not count her.
But, we're friends too, as much as she's my mom. And then, as I was saying, my buddy Chris, who's not in my life. There's not a lot of other people that I could call and they would drop whatever they're doing and come help me.
Mm-hmm. So to answer the question, you would say somebody could still be a friend that's a 10 if they don't do that, or
yeah.
Do you want to be a 10 in my book?
No, I know I've had a friend for quite some time. I'd say he's probably an 8 or 9. But you can't rely on him to do anything for you. Like if you.
So the answer is no. You can't be a 10 unless you can be relied upon, right? I'm just trying to get you to answer the question so we can move on.
Yeah. Well, we can move on if you want. It's just, I'm not 100% sure. It could be that you might be able to be, but I haven't run into that scenario.
All right. So I only have. I got one more question for you. Your flaws, your shortcomings. Would you ever consider a person a 10?
What was that?
If they don't accept you and all your flaws.
Probably not.
Let's say, for instance, every other aspect of these questions that I've asked you, they scored a 10 on. You can rely on them. They're emotionally supportive. You can have those deep, life-affirming conversations with them. They're reliable. They're thoughtful. They go out of their way for you to make you feel included at a party when you're the only one there they know. They're emotionally supportive. They listen to you. They really listen to you, and they thoughtfully respond, all that stuff. But they don't accept your flaws.
My question is, how could they be all that other stuff and not be accepting your flaws already?
No, this is not a place for you to ask questions. This is a place for you to answer.
Yeah, to me, I don't think you would be doing all that other stuff and have that relationship about all that other stuff unless they've already accepted you as a person and all your flaws.
No, I don't believe that's true at all. Because you could do all those things for somebody you really care about and consider a friend, but you at the same time, in the back of your head, you could always think this person, my friend here, that I'm accepting and I'm a very good friend to, could do better for himself and just chooses not to.
Well, you could think they could do better. Doesn't mean you're not accepting them with them and all their flaws.
No, that's exactly what it means.
Not to me.
Okay, like for instance, let's say my buddy Metal here, right? Let's say I'm his best good friend, and I'm very supportive of him. And when he has an idea, I'm gung ho about it. I support him. I try to do my best to support him in every aspect, even financially and all this stuff. I listen to his problems. I care about him a lot. He calls on me when he needs he's been beat up at the Piggly Wiggly, and I got to go pick him up, take him to the hospital. I'm there. I wait for him, give him a ride home when he gets discharged. But I think that he has flaws about him that I'm not accepting. I think that he could do better in one aspect or another, and I'm not going to be okay with him, until I feel that he is trying his best to overcome those flaws.
Dude, I can't help pick fights at the Piggly Wiggly, okay? They ask for it.
There's the reason I picked the Piggly Wiggly.
My question is why that if this person's not accepting you for who you are, why are you doing all this stuff with them? Or doing all this stuff for them?
What are you talking about? You're saying if I don't accept its flaws, then why am I doing these other things?
Yeah.
No, that's a dumb question.
How's it a dumb question?
Because I like him. He's my friend.
Yeah, but then if you like him, doesn't mean you like his flaws and you're not accepting him. You just know that he can do better. And by doing this stuff and being his friend and knowing he can do better and doing this stuff for him, no matter what, it means you are accepting him as he is. Whether he can do better or not.
Nope. This is a fundamental misunderstanding we're having here, Rick.
Well, if you wouldn't think he could do better, why would he even? I'd say why would he even be your friend? But that might be going a little bit beyond my statement. I couldn't imagine doing most of that stuff. But the only other thing that could maybe motivate somebody to do that stuff no matter what is the love of Christ. But then again, with the love of Christ, you're still accepting them as they are.
It's not a question of accepting them as they are, as much as it is a question of accepting their shortcomings as something that they're going through and not leaving it at that.
I don't get what you mean. Because if
you have a very good friend, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you have a very good friend. He's a great friend of yours, but he's a smoker.
Yeah.
And he's ruining his health. He even smoked so much that he gave his kid asthma.
Yeah.
He's your best friend. He's very supportive. You love him to death. You don't accept me as I am. You don't think that what I'm doing is okay. But you're still my friend.
Yeah. Well, just a friend, but if
and you know that I could be better.
Yeah, I know that you could be better, but if I'm doing all that stuff, it means I'm accepting you as you are. Thus, it's not. How did you put it? To me, I can't separate the two things
that I put myself in.
Yeah. Maybe I think you can do better, but that doesn't.
Called a flaw. That's what we're talking about. Flaws here, Rick.
Yeah, well, everybody's got flaws. I've got flaws,
Okay, so let's say, for instance, that you're not going to make a big deal about the way this question is worded. Just answer the fucking question.
Well, I guess then in my case, I would be. What was the question again?
Oh, Lou. The question was, do you consider a person to be able to be a 10 in your friend's book if they don't accept you and all your flaws and everything you do?
Probably not, because probably that's not a really good friend.
So a really good friend would say, They would never bring it up.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not saying that they wouldn't bring it up, saying, "Hey, you can do better." But just because they say you can do better and be better, doesn't make them any less of a friend.
Like, for instance, saying, I'm doing the best I can, and they give you a side eye because, they know you're not doing the best you can. There are other things you could be doing.
Oh, they might think, yeah, but they, as far as I'm concerned, just because they would be accepting, just like
it's not an easy question to answer. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's so like if you say I can't, I just can't, and they go, all right, okay, and even though they know,
yeah, but if there's
or they think they know, that you probably could if you gave more effort.
Yeah, but if they're still helping me out and doing all the crap that you were saying before, not that it's crap, but then they are accepting me with all my flaws.
Oh my god! I thought we were past this already.
To me, I can't see them not doing all that and not being accepting of my flaws. So.
Then you're a bad friend.
It doesn't mean they don't encourage me to change and be better or think I can be better. I think we're all got flaws and we can all do better, That's...
Well, no duh, Rick.
So, by that logic, if we know that about everybody, and we're thinking that about everybody that's our friend, then nobody can be friends, or whatever, with that logic.
Oh, you are like the worst friend, then. Good lord.
You're welcome, John.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have for you, Rick.
Well, I got none for you.
I had no illusions.
Well, actually, I do have one question for you.
Yeah, I'd like to promote the buckler.
Yeah. Jeez, you figured that question out. What an awesome friend.
Oh, you look how far over we went.
Yeah, I've been watching the clock. I've been just kind of egging him on every couple of minutes when it got quiet. That way we can keep going.
That's why I wasn't interrupting. You seemed like you were on a roll there.
All right, so yeah, I have a book called The Buckler. It's the greatest book to ever be made. Being made. So just imagine, And if you want to get in on this book called The Buckler, head on over to Indiegogo. And you type in The Buckler, or you type in John Dillard, and the book will come up. It's impossible to miss. It looks beautiful. You'll be amazed, stunned, gobsmacked, and you'll have no other choice but to go ahead and click back this project. So go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and there
Evan's
it
saying
is.
hold the phone for some reason. I think he wants to say something before we leave.
And do you know you're up to 71 backers?
71. Yes, I do know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Today.
Metal, anything you want to promote?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That's correct, Timothy. If you don't back it, you are a bad friend like Rick.
Well,
Well, that's not true. I guess Rick can't be all bad because he did back it, right, Rick?
not yet.
Oh, my God.
I bet.
I'm hoping to be backing it in about a week.
Just so you know, you can never be a 10 on my list unless you have backed the buckler.
But thanks I want to thank John and Metal for coming on tonight, being on the panel.
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question, Rick. Evan wants to know: are you going to say where John and Metal rank on your list of friends on a 1 to 10? This list that we've been talking about for some time now. Where do we land on there? Are you going to say?
Well, I have said, and you ranked number 2, John, and Metal ranked number
That was
3.
the rank of the
So-
viewers. The people
Oh my
on the
god!
show.
I got a 2 out of 10. My
No.
god!
No, out of like 70 or something. Like
I kind of prefaced that by saying this list that we've been talking about for some time here, the list of if you ever be between a 1 and a 10 on somebody's friends list. Can somebody ever be a 10? This list that we've been talking about, Rick? That's what we're at. That's what Evan's asking about. Where does Rick and John land on that list?
I guess a 9. Oh, maybe a 10.
We're
9.5.
10's middle. But Rick's being a liar because I do not accept his flaws. Judge is telling Timothy he's 7.95.
And I want to thank
That's a completely different question, Rick.
Well, I thought the list that was being referred to there was the one from a couple months ago when they got me to rank my viewers.
Oh, no, we're done
Don't
with
forget
that.
to remind people if they didn't, to change their thumbs down to a thumbs up before they leave.
Yes. Hit the if you put a thumbs
As
down.
we found out earlier, it actually does hurt Rick's feelings. So please don't do that.
Yes, please make the thumbs down. Go, hey! It helps you become good. No, I'm not sure whether this will be a help or a hindrance, but it makes you become Canadian, eh?
It's terrible.
Well, as I said, I want to thank John and Metal for coming on the panel tonight, being with me on here talking and all that. And I'd like to thank everybody out there in the chat as well for coming by, talking, chatting. It's been a good time. We'll catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Have a great and wonderful day, night, whatever it might be.